Mason Rudolph is going to be the starter for the Steelers if Kenny Pickett can't go. Mitch Trubisky benched. He ultimately is going to be judged by his wins and losses. He's 2-5 as a Steelers starting quarterback. He has yet to throw for 200 yards in a game this season with the Steelers. And that Saturday game against the Colts, I know if you look on paper and the box score, it might say one thing, but this Steelers offense is just really, really struggle. And the offense came out of the gate, a 13-0 lead. And then the Steelers allowed 30 consecutive points. It could have been 36 if not for missed field goals. But Steelers are reeling a bit right now in the post-Matt Canada world. And Ike, you said this several weeks back when Eddie Faulkner and Mike Sullivan took over as play caller and interim OC. You say, let me see what this looks like after several games. And the Steelers offense just still struggling right now to move the football and to put points on the scoreboard.
Yeah, just as a whole, we're just struggling, especially on the offensive side. I don't know how tough it is, just having like two OCs, so say, but they still trying to figure it out. So we're just getting a sample size, but for us, I just think it's, too much inconsistency, in play on the field. So you give me a sample size in the first quarter, second quarter, what can possibly the offense look like. Then from that point on, you got to understand teams going to adjust, so we got to readjust too as well. So it's just I'm gonna tell you like that. It's just hard to watch. It's hard to watch, especially on the offensive side, Mark. So, the crazy thing is, like, even though we're 3 games out of it, we got to hit these 3, and we'll have opportunity. But the offense, for sure, from a coaching staff, from a player's point of view, it's frustrating to watch. The frustrating side of it is the inconsistency of play. The frustrating side of it is the not having identity on the offensive side. The frustrating side is you see clips of us to who we could be, and we're not that consistently. The frustrating side of it is finding ways for guys and putting them in position to make plays and get open. The frustrating side of it is seeing the talent, seeing the players we have, not making plays consistently. So it's just frustrating because when you look at the roster on the offensive side, Mark, it's a lot of talent. And there's no way we should be putting up at least 24 points a game. But it's just a lot of inconsistency right now on that side of the ball.
The Steelers have failed to score 19 points in the past 5 games. That's the longest said streak since they went 6 games in a row in the 1969 season. And that was Chuck Noll's first season, Ike. So that kind of puts into history and some context of the struggles of the offense. Now, the words that I hear, Ike, is identity and consistency. Those are the 2 words that stick out to me from what you're saying to where we're at this point in the season. And Mike Tomlin even said it on Monday. I forget the exact quote, but it was essentially along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing here, okay, we're making September mistakes and it's December football. And again, it goes back to lack of offensive identity and lack of consistently making plays, Ike.
Man, we talking about, when Coach T said we doing September stuff in December. Like he like to say, that's JV. We still doing JV stuff in December. And when you do that in December, you don't put yourself, you're in the position you're in right now. We're in the position we're in right now. September ball is right after training camp ball. September ball is mistakes. September ball is like cleaning up. September ball is like the first day on the job, kind of. When you talk about September ball, you got a new job. You're just trying to fill your way out. heck, when you've been on the job for 5 or 6 months, you pretty much understand the routine. Now you just maneuvering the way you need to maneuver. That's December ball. We're not playing December ball. I mean, Coach T said it best. Right now in December, we playing September ball, and guys in December they playing January ball. It's a difference. So,
Mm.
and that's consistency from MEs, mental errors. That's consistency on wearing the line up. That's consistency on penalties. That's consistency on making plays. That's consistency on want to. So right now we just in a funk, a deep funk. But we definitely got to get ourselves up out of this funk for sure.
Mason Rudolph will have his opportunity, Ike, and he has not started a game since the 2021 season. He filled in for one game when Ben Roethlisberger was out with COVID. It's funny to me. I almost look at this game like a movie poster, Ike, where if you were trying to sell this game to fans and you had Mason Rudolph on one side of the movie poster and you had Jake Browning on the other, it'd be like, well, how is this a preseason game against division opponents? No. We're in a different nexus of the universe because of injuries that we've got Mason Rudolph versus Jake Browning in this game at the quarterback position. And here we are, in 2023, where it's like, if you would have told fans this at the start of the season, they'd be like, what happened to get to this point?
Yeah, injuries is a part of football, especially that quarterback position. That's a major. We talking about a starter for the Pittsburgh
Look across the
Steelers.
division, Ike.
A starter for our team, Kenny Pickett, and a starter, Joe Burrow, sitting out for Cincinnati. So that's two. I mean, when you think football, you think quarterback. That's the first thing you think. What quarterback you like? After that, you probably go wide receiver. When you just overall think totality, think of football. So, I mean, two starting quarterbacks not playing, but Mason Rudolph had plenty of time. Mason got plenty of time. He got plenty of snaps. And then he gets another opportunity. Mark, so we shall see. They were screaming free Mason, and Mason is free, so we shall see on Saturday, because we play on Saturday.
Yeah, this came full circle, like, because that 2019 season when Rudolph filled in for Big Ben, and he does have a winning record as a starter, and then he got hurt. Duck Hodges came in. They put Mason back in. He then got benched for Hodges.
Right.
So we'll see how all this shakes out. It's like, I hope they put him in an opportunity to succeed. When he came in that Colts game and they call a screen pass to Jaylen Warren, it just gets blown up in the backfield. It's like he executed what he needed to on that play in terms of completing the pass, but there's more facets to it than that. If the defense knows what's coming, I'll say this. I don't know that it can get much worse than with how Trubisky played. Ike, you know how I feel about that with Trubisky. The Steelers have an out with him in 2024. I would like to see them bring in another quarterback to draft and develop behind Kenny Pickett next season, mid to late rounds. Again, this is under the assumption whether you have Mike Tomlin or not as your head coach, you're going to have a new OC to try to get Kenny right and try to get this offense right, because I almost approach it from this standpoint, and I listened back to our conversation with Dave Damashek. In 2019, when Ben injured his elbow, shattered his elbow, was done for the season, you knew he was in the latter half, the later portions of his career. And it's easy to say, well, Kenny Pickett's just going to be the guy. He'll fill in and be the heir apparent in the post-Ben Roethlisberger era. But this is something that the Steelers offense has really struggled since that 2019 season, by and large, with a large sample size. And so what are the things that you can do to try to get this team right? If Mason Rudolph plays average and plays well, I think you could bring him back on the cheap next year too, because he has familiarity with the personnel, with the system, and what I hope is a new system next year. But just with Trubisky, if you're paying him $8 million between 5 and 6 for the 2 seasons after this one, if you're paying a premium for the backup, Trubisky is the 28th highest paid quarterback in all of the NFL for this season. You're not getting premium from him as a player at the backup position. So I'd move on from him, Mike. That's just my opinion.
That's above my pay grade when it comes down to that. I'll let you run it and spin it how you want to spin it. But Time will tell. Time will tell. You're on to something, I would say. So
I've
I
been
leave
banging this drum home, Mike, on this pod for weeks now.
No, you be spitting fire, Mark, for real. That's what you be doing. But yeah, that's above my pay grade, so I just leave it like
I
that.
understand. Any chance Pickett does play, Ike? I mean, I don't know if I could put a number on it. I do think it'll be Rudolph, but do you think there's any chance that Pickett comes back early from that tightrope ankle surgery?
I hope not, to be honest. I mean, let's rock with Mason. Let's see what Mason can do. Let's see what Mason can do. Let Kenny sit out one more week. One
Yeah.
more week. Just one more week, just to make sure they'll put it at, 7 more days for recovery is a lot. you know.
Yeah.
So let's really it'll be 8 because we play on Saturday.
Mhm.
So let's just see. I wouldn't press it. Um, Mason been waiting patiently, and he gonna get another opportunity. So I just let Mason rock this thing out and see what we got.